Let's talk a little bit about SharePoint Search. So here I have a page where I've installed PnP Modern Search. This is a wonderful extension to SharePoint. This is something that makes search so much easier to configure, so much more flexible, but there's still some improvements that could be made. So for instance, here I'm going to enter a search query, and it's going to give me back a list of hits that I have on this page. And with this particular list of hits, I have the name of the document, and I have a short search snippet for each of the documents. And as you can see, the search snippet that you have here is not very useful. This one tells you virtually nothing about the query that I've made. This one highlights the words the and of, which are not the important words here. So you're left with the problem that even though it's given you a lot of search results, you don't know which one is going to be relevant. You have to open it up, search within the document again to see whether any of these documents are truly relevant. So what can we do about this? This is where PointFire Search Summarizer comes in. PointFire Search Summarizer is an extension to PnP Modern Search. And what it does is give you some more useful information about each of the hits. It doesn't change what the search returns, it just changes how it's displayed. So here, if I use the same search query and do some search, you'll see it's generating some summaries. It happens in seconds. And here, the summary that it generates is the summary of in what way the document is relevant to the search query. So what specific terms in there match or general ideas, and it writes a little summary of what it's about. So I'm highlighting here the title of the document, and that gives me even more insight. So it has extracted specific sentences from within the document that tells me that these sentences are the most relevant to my search. None of it is particularly relevant, right? It's talking about the economic community of Western African states, which is similar to the European Union, but we were looking for the European Union. And really, there's not very much in this entire document about the European Union. So we can see right away that I don't have to open this document. This isn't relevant. Here, this one, there's more that's relevant to this. It talks about, again, this community of West African states, but it also says certain things about the European Union and the African Union and so forth. So slightly more relevant, still not what we want. Here we have an interesting summary that says right off, there's really nothing relevant in this document at all. I'm not even going to generate a summary because what it's summarizing is not the document, it's summarizing why this document is relevant to the query. And this particular document is not relevant to the query. So you have here, if you go a little further down, you see some much more promising documents that are talking about the European Union, the member states of the European Union. And if you go and highlight the actual sentences, you'll see that the reason that it rated high was the word states as in United States. So it was looking promising. It does mention the European Union, and the European Parliament and the European Council, but it's not specifically about the EU. So this is a very useful tool that saves you some time, that you don't have to open each document and determine whether it's relevant. You can find out whether something is relevant or not, and you can search for more general terms, like whatever the search is that you're doing, it's going to find what is relevant in a short summary. The length of the summary is adjustable. You can have shorter summaries, you can have longer summaries. And if you hover, it's going to give you specific sentences, and you can see from the specific sentences whether a document is going to be relevant. And very often, like in this case, the search algorithm of SharePoint has found some very good documents right in the first few, but very often you have to scroll down to the second, third, fourth page of results in order to find out which documents are relevant. So this is something that could really save the organization some time in not having to read all the irrelevant documents that come from search.